What's up everyone, Master Fox here today, and I know this isn't the Necroz of Lightsworn deck profile that a lot of people have been asking for, but I will get that up eventually, probably by the end of this week or early in the start of next week. Before I went into that, I wanted to do something, before I got into that, I wanted to do a deck profile of this Skull Servant deck, because I was really excited when I saw that it got 12th place at an Oklahoma regional, and that was something that was just really unexpected in a meta swamped by decks like Necroz. So I was really interested in seeing the deck itself and how it performed. So let's take a look at the deck itself. So he's running 3 King of the Skull Servants, obviously, and 3 Skull Servants, 3 Lady in White, 3 White Prince, 2 White Mare, 3 Mizuki, 3 Unizombie. So Unizombie is what really makes the deck work, I think. And it allows you to have a double Foolish Burial, and this is what really accelerates the deck and kind of set the deck up. When you combine it with a card like White Prince, it allows you to have basically 4 Skull Servants, I think, in your graveyard by your first turn at the earliest, which means that your King of the Skull Servants is attacking for 4,000 on the first turn, which is pretty impressive for a deck like this. So you're able to dish out a lot of damage really quickly, and I think a lot of opponents got caught off guard by him, because seeing your opponent just normal summon a monster that has 4,000 attack right away in their first turn isn't something that you would expect normally. And so he's running a small Lightsworn engine here. He's running 2 Raiden and 2 Layla, and this is just for milling, and I think it's a good idea to run it because it allows you to kind of accelerate your plays. What I found interesting here was he ran a Dark Arm Dragon and a Black Luster Soldier. The Dark Arm Dragon does make sense to me because he has a great deal of grave control via Mizuki and White Prince, and so he's able to control his grave to get the right numbers for a Dark Arm Dragon. And Black Luster Soldier he ran just because he could with the Lightsworn engine mesh in with the Skull Servant engine. Plus the 2 light monsters are searchable as well via Charge of the Light Brigade, so Black Luster Soldier is not a bad choice here. And so he ran 2 Charges of the Light Brigade, obviously as a part of the Lightsworn engine, along with 2 Dark Hole and Raigeki. And this makes sense to me as well because he needed to clear the field to dish out a lot of damage, so it would make sense that he maximized on the field clearers. He also ran a single 1-for-1, which could summon King of the Skull Servants from your deck, or any of the other level 1 monsters in his deck, which most of them are. And then he ran 1 Burial from the different dimension. He also ran 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Mystical Space Typhoon, which is kind of weird in my opinion, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that one. And then he also ran 3 Breakthrough Skill, and then 2 of the viruses. He ran 1 Crush Card Virus, and then 1 Eradicator Epidemic Virus, and then a single Vanity's Emptiness. So I think the viruses are actually a really good choice in the main deck because Crush Card Virus is essentially always live, because half of, or more than half of your monsters have less than 1,000 attack. And Eradicator Epidemic Virus is always live too with King of the Skull Servants as soon as you get enough Skull Servants in your graveyard for King of the Skull Servants. And both of these cards are really crippling to decks like Necroz, especially Eradicator Epidemic Virus. After they have summoned something and then you just hit all their spells, it's hard for them to recover from that. And then for his extra deck, he's running Catastor, Powered Insectron, Goyo Guardian, Black Rose Dragon, Beals, Void Ogre Dragon, Red Dragon Archfiend, Stardust Dragon, Lionheart, Utopia Roots, Zen Mains, Utopia, Abyss Dweller, Gaga Cowboy, and Lavalval Chain. So for the extra deck, the only thing that was really weird was the Powered Insectron. I feel like there's better level 6 Synchro monsters like Vulcan the Divine, but whatever, I guess it's his check choice. So let's go on to the side deck now. So he is running a single Warning, Ring of Destruction, Torrential Tribute, Mirror Force, Change Its Appearance, 3 Royal Command, obviously for Shaddolls, and 3 Spell Shattering Arrow, 2 Royal Decree, and 2 Trap Stun. So the Royal Decree and the Trap Stuns are obviously for trap heavy decks like Satellar Knights or anything like that. And then the Spell Shattering Arrows are for Cleaforts. Royal Command is for Shaddolls, as I mentioned, and I think that's a really good tech choice. And his main deck is already covered for Necroz, so that's why you don't see too many things in his side for Necroz, because I think he felt that the Breakthrough Skills and the 2 viruses, as well as the Vanity's Emptiness, basically covered his Necroz matchup. Plus, you don't want to be running too many traps in a deck like this anyways. So the deck overall I think is really interesting, and it's cool that a deck like Skull Servants, which is linear in my opinion, was able to top a fairly large event like this. It just kind of shows you that the meta is still open for other decks to compete with it, and even though Nekroz and Satellar Knights and decks like that are looming over the entire format, you can still compete with them using kind of off-the-wall strategies like this. So that's it for this deck profile. These are just some of my thoughts about the Skull Servant deck that he ran. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and that's it for this video. I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you.